Roll call.
Don Baisley, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Joe Conti, Third Ward.
Joseph Lepore, Fifth Ward.
Ann Schurshin, 6th Ward.
Todd Tancredi, Supervisor.
Kelly Tremper, Deputy Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, Attorney for the Town.
Okay, we have one public hearing on our agenda tonight. We will open this public hearing, and then we'll close it. It's been pushed over for a number of months. We don't intend on taking any action tonight, but we will open it and close it to get it off the agenda instead of continuing to adjourn it. So I'd like to open public hearing number one, Town Code Amendment, Chapter 210-35, Highway Business District.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here to speak to this public hearing? We were contemplating making a change in our Highway Business District, but we feel like the change that we were going to make probably can be handled through some ordinances that already exist in our code. So at this time, as I said, we don't plan on entertaining or taking action on this. So no one here to speak to this public hearing. I make a motion. Let's close public hearing number one.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Jim, what's the proper procedure? We're not going to read, I don't even see anything. We're just not going to take action.
Or you could move to withdraw it. So there's-
Okay, I move to withdraw resolution number one.
I'll second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Okay, that brings us to the end of our public hearing. So what I'm going to do is go through the agenda items. We don't have a very long agenda, but I will read off the agenda items, then we'll take questions on agenda items. Agenda item number 2 is to accept the resignation of Todd Tancredi from the Tri-Municipal Sewer Commission. 3 is to appoint Joseph Lepore to the Tri-Muni Sewer Commission. 4 is to appoint VBH McDonald Heights, DEIS VBH is the firm we're going to hire to do that joint work that we spoke about a few weeks ago. 5 is to accept the resignation of Thomas Waldvogel from our sewer department. 6 is to retain Morris Associates for DC Airport landfill. This is an ongoing work, ongoing routine. We have some monitoring we're required to do out there, and Morris has typically done that over the last number of years. And that's a joint project with the town of Poughkeepsie and I believe it's
Poughkeepsie, LaGrange, Wappingers.
Yep. City of Poughkeepsie, LaGrange, and Wappingers Falls. 7 is to authorize a block party in Hillis Terrace. 8 is consent for lead agency status for the Sherwin-Williams site plan. And 9 is to set a public hearing date for property maintenance at 3 Benton Road. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to the board about a town agenda item? Doreen?
Question about number 10. I don't know that you mentioned that or if I missed it, but can you tell us what that legal action is?
That's going to be removed from the agenda. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I have it removed on my
Oh, okay, it's still on
agenda
here.
item.
So can you say what
It was one of our officers is in a lawsuit with the insurance company.
Okay, so it's a police
for an
officer.
accident. Yes.
Okay. And then my other question is about agenda item number 6. So this is $13,000 a year. That's just the town's portion of the environmental monitoring?
No, that's the
whole portion.
that's the
Everybody.
total.
Okay.
That's the total, and it's shared. We're the largest. Unfortunately, when that landfill closed, we were presumably the town of Poughkeepsie was the largest contributor, so we have the largest share. I think it's
42%.
42%. So that's the total, and this
Okay.
is required monitoring.
Right, but I just wasn't sure how this works. So the town is the one that pays it and then gets reimbursed by the others?
We
or-
shouldn't be paying that.
Oh.
No.
No, there's a fund through them alone, like an
Okay.
enterprise type fund that they manage their own money. I think it's the bond money still.
I
So
didn't
there's a
remember.
balance.
I talked to Attorney Nelson about this. I didn't remember having this on the agendas in the past.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I don't recall, I know there's
I
been
don't
environmental
recall it either.
monitoring for years, but I just
There's
didn't
no
recall seeing
change.
this.
Yeah, I don't either, but, just, I guess to be safe, we left it on. There's no change. It is the same monitoring that's been done for the last, however, I don't know what's it been, 8, 10
I was
years.
going to say, probably close to 10 years now, maybe?
It's just
So, yeah, no change. It's a shared cost with the other municipalities. And then that's the lion's share of it, is the monitoring. And Morris, is the engineer that handles it. They don't even do some of the, they have to send some of the testing out to more specialized, agencies, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Doreen. Anyone else? All right. Jay, you want to start with
Be
number 2?
resolved, the town board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby accept with regret the resignation of Todd N. Tancredi, effective immediately from the Tri-Municipal Sewer Commission. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? I'll obviously not
Nice
vote
hat.
since it's for myself. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Bill?
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Joseph Lepore to the Tri-Municipal Sewer Commission to fill the unexpired term of Todd N. Tancredi, which expires December 31st, 2017. So moved.
Second.
For a motion and a second, any discussion?
Do I get to vote myself as
No.
well? No, okay. Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations,
Say no,
Joe.
Phil.
My arm still hurts.
Whereas pursuant to an authorization by the town board, a request for qualifications RFQ was issued on April 7, 2016, seeking responses from qualified firms to prepare an environmental impact statement, EIS, for a project known as McDonald Heights Town Center. And whereas responses were received from VHB of Albany, New York, AKRF Incorporated of White Plains, New York, and Barton and Logides DPC of Albany, New York, each of which was deemed qualified pursuant to the requirements of the RFQ. And whereas a committee of the town consisting of the supervisor, deputy supervisor, chairman of the planning board, director of municipal development, senior planner, junior planner, and representatives of Kirchhoff companies conducted interviews with representatives of each firm on May 11, 2016. And where it is practice of the town board to retain consulting and legal services on behalf of various boards, agencies, and departments of the town, whereas the committee has recommended to the town board the selection of the firm VHB to undertake the work as specified in the RFQ, and whereas the town board has considered the recommendation of the committee, and whereas the cost of preparing the EIS and reviewing the application would be borne solely by Kirchhoff companies pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.13 of the seeker regulations and Chapter 106 of the Town Code, with no expenditure of town funds. Now therefore, be it resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to execute a contract with VBH for the services as described in the RFQ after review and approval of said contract by the attorney to the town and by the director of municipal development. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Neil, is there anything you'd like to share with the board?
No, I just, we had a very good series of interviews. We conducted them all in one day. All of the firms sent, some very qualified, personnel to talk with us. Selection of VHB was actually unanimous on the part of the committee, after some discussion. And this will be sort of once the contract has been negotiated. At this point, we don't have a budget for it because what VHB needs to do is to actually give us an estimate. In order to have an estimate, we have to have a scoping document for the DEIS, and that is actually something that we've been working on in the past week or so. So that contract going forward will be something that will it's a little bit of a time delay, but this will, things are going to have to start fairly quickly, and this is also a matter that instead of involving this board, with the exception of the contract and the authorization tonight, is really just in front of the planning board. So it's all site plan review. But I'm very excited. This is I think, an opportunity to, in my opinion, sort of open up the environmental review in a way that previously we have not been able to. where we have a relationship with a local developer who is willing to allow the town to retain the consultant to prepare the DEIS. Usually they want to keep everything very close to the vest and prepare it, and they give it to us. And, we go back and forth. It becomes very contentious. So my hope and expectation is that this would really sort of open up that review process, and there would be a free flow of information, during the preparation of the DEIS. So I'm very excited about it.
And the fees paid to this company are still handled through escrow like anything else.
Right. In other words, we will also have an escrow, an agreement with Kirchhoff. Will probably look something like the one we have with DRA on the Hudson Heritage Project, that requires them to replenish it when it falls below a certain level. But the idea is that they pay into the fund. We review the bills. They get copies of everything, but the payments come from the town using their funds.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for your effort on that, Neil.
Great, thank you.
Anything from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be resolved, the town board, Town of Poughkeepsie, does accept with regret the resignation of Thomas Waldvogel, effective June 3rd, 2016, from the Town of Poughkeepsie Sewer Department. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby retain Morris Associates to do environmental monitoring in regard to the post-closure responsibilities of the Dutchess County Airport landfill for a sum not to exceed $13,000 per annex proposal. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I have a question. Jim, this fee is shared among the 4 municipalities. Should that be referenced in this resolution?
Yes, if somebody wanted to make a voice motion that it be amended to reflect the allocation among the members, I can then change the resolution after.
Make a motion to amend this motion to include the 42% as our share of this cost, as we're part of a group of municipalities involved.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and an amendment. We'll vote on the amendment first. So all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Amendment passes 6-0 on the amended resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes 6-0 as well. And number 7?
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application submitted by Tamaris Maki to hold a block party on Hillis Terrace, 22 Hillis Terrace to 48 Hillis Terrace on July 2nd, 2016, with a rain date of July 3rd, 2016, from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., and does hereby authorize the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department Traffic Division to close said street, but allowing access for emergency vehicles from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And be further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in event alcoholic beverages are to be served. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, last year, when we had this, we had a rain date. And somehow we did not remove the road closed signs for the rain date.
Okay.
So the residents on the upper section of Hillis Terrace and the adjoining streets expressed their dissatisfaction with that. So this year, I'd like to see the block party, but we will make very sure if there's a rain date that the signs will disappear and only come back when the rain date is on.
Okay. So anything else? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Number 8, be resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board acting as secret lead agency for the project known as Sherwin-Williams Site Plan, 684 Dutchess Turnpike, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax parcel number 6261-01-258884. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas orders of remedy, copy of which are attached hereto, have been issued for property located at 3 Benton Road, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159 of Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code. Whereas said orders to remedy have not been complied With now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 6th day of July, 2016, 7 p.m., Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove, and as needed, continue to remove all garden waste and fallen tree limbs, cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches. Remove and continue to remove all solid waste, debris, and litter, all at the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And number 10 has been removed, so that brings us to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to accept public comment on town issues.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here who would like to address the board? Doreen?
So I have a question, Todd. You're obviously still acting as supervisor.
Yeah.
But I saw on the stormwater report that Councilman Basely signed it as the supervisor.
Is the deputy supervisor?
He should have signed it as deputy supervisor.
Okay, I will.
So if he didn't, we'll correct that, but
Okay.
Jay is the deputy supervisor. Jay has been sitting in a lot here at Town Hall, but he is deputy supervisor.
So do you have an effective date yet? When?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, and then my other question, the property maintenance for Benton Road.
Yes.
Some, in the past, some of these have come up and, you know, when it's taken further down the line, like where people still don't comply. And
Yeah.
given the example of the Marple Road extension, back in, I believe it was October, there was a house there, the one where they claimed it was a zoological
Yeah, I remember.
experiment. And within 60 days, I believe it was, something was supposed to be done. And I spoke to one of the neighbors about a month ago, and as of about a month ago, nothing had been done. So what's the progression on these? How does this work?
We'll have to, I don't know, I'm not familiar with that one. It should have been, the grass should have been cut, and if there's any debris on the outside, it should have been cleaned up. If it hasn't, we'll find out why, but,
Right,
you
but
know,
I
these
think
are
on-
property maintenance, so it's not necessarily for
Right.
the inside of the house, for the outside.
I believe the one for Marple Road, I guess my question in general is that if these things, you know, do progress, like I believe the one for the Marple Road one was that if they didn't take action, the town had the ability to actually demolish the house. And like I said, that was back in October, and I talked to a neighbor about a month ago, unless something's happened in the last month, the house is still the
It's
same.
unlikely that, I'm sure there hasn't been any action in the last month. I mean, demolishing a home is a drastic measure, and
Right.
I think the town's not going to do that casually.
Right, I
or-
understand that's not your goal. Your
But
goal is to get
our
it
goal
cleaned
is to
up.
make
and
sure it's
but
cleaned up.
If they don't, it
Well, we'll have
just,
to look at it. If they don't, like in a case like this, usually what we do is we hire, if they don't do it, if the owner doesn't do it or the responsible party, a bank or a mortgage company, whatever, we'll hire someone to clean it up, remove any debris from around the house, mow the lawn, and then we'll put that fee on the tax bill. I don't know. We'll have to check into Marple Road.
then I'll check.
I don't know what's happening.
And so then along those lines, has there been any progress on that place on Vassar Road across from where Stewart's is, near the Red Oaks Mill
Yeah, I
Plaza?
know what you mean. It's still ongoing. Don't know, last I knew, they were working with the Department of Labor, trying to get the final permit. I mean, they tore down the whole thing except that,
Right, they left.
little front piece, so we'll look into
As you're
it.
looking at it, that front right side is where the asbestos was.
Yeah, I remember there was
They've
an
gotten
asbestos problem.
the state permit. Now they're getting the final permit to do the work, and it should disappear very quickly. I expected to have been gone by the time we sat here tonight.
Yeah, because it
but-
really is an eyesore, and I know the
It
town
really-
is
it
aware of
truly
that,
is
but
it's more than an eyesore.
well,
It's-
and a safety hazard and all the,
And it has to do with because of the asbestos in it, this delay has been significant.
Once you get the Department of Labor involved, no offense to the state.
They were talking about when you deal with asbestos, you have to encapsulate, control it.
disposals.
So
right.
then you take it out in a small package.
Yep.
They weren't able to do that in this matter. So they were talking about doing a wet removal of the whole section. And I don't think the state wanted them to do that. But the problem's been resolved. I just checked on this. They've got the first permit, they're in the process of getting a second permit, and it should be very
It'll
imminent.
be nice when it's gone, because it's
Yeah.
been there a long time, and it is a,
Right.
you're right, a major eyesore.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Doreen. Anyone else? All right, see no one, I make a motion to resume the rules.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Town board adjourns at 7:22 PM.